Hi, I'm Tom Blomain. Welcome to Graffiti. It is February, Black History Month, and in honor of Black History Month, I'm going to read some black poets from this old book out of my own collection, edited by Dudley Randall. I'm going to start with a couple of selections from the great Langston Hughes. These are maybe somewhat more obscure of Langston Hughes's works. This first one is called Children's Rhymes. By what sins the white kids I ain't sent. I know I can't be president. What don't bug them white kids sure bugs me. We know everybody ain't free. Lies written down for white folks ain't for us at all. Liberty and justice, huh? For all? It's Langston Hughes' poem, Children's Rhymes. This is a short one of his called Justice. That justice is a blind goddess is a thing to which we black are wise. Her bandage hides two festering sores that once, perhaps, were eyes. It's Langston Hughes' poem, Justice. This is a poem by a poet named Arna Bontemps. It is called Reconnaissance. After the cloud embankments, the lamentations of wind, and the starry descent into time, we came to the flashing waters and shaded our eyes from the glare. Alone with the shore and the harbor, the stems of the coconut trees, the fronds of silence and hushed music, we cried for the new revelation and waited for miracles to rise. Where elements touch and merge, where shadows swoon like outcasts on the sand, and the tried moment waits, its courage gone, there were we, in latitudes where storms are born. That's the poem Reconnaissance by Arna Bontemps. This poem is by the famous County Cullen. It's called Incident. Once, riding in old Baltimore, heart filled, head filled with glee, I saw a Baltimorean keep looking straight at me. Now I was 8 and very small, and he was no whit bigger, and so I smiled, but he poked out his tongue and called me nigger. I saw the whole of Baltimore from May until December, of all the things that happened there. That's all I remember. It's County Cullen's poem, Incident. This is a poem by Frank Marshall Davis called Arthur Ridgewood, M.D. He debated whether as a poet to have dreams and beans or as a physician have a long car and caviar. Dividing his time between both, he died from a nervous breakdown caused by worry from rejection slips and final notices from the finance company. It's Arthur Ridgewood, M.D. by Frank Marshall Davis. This is a poem by Robert Hayden called In the Morning Time. As the gook woman howls for her boy in the smoldering, as the expendable, clean-cut boys from decent American homes are slashing off enemy ears for keepsakes, as the victories are tallied up with flag-draped coffins, plastic body bags, what can my sorrow, anger, pity say but this? This. We must not be frightened nor cajoled into accepting evil as deliverance from evil. We must go on struggling to be human, though monsters of abstraction police and threaten us. Reclaim now renew the vision of a human world where godliness is possible and man is neither gook, nigger, honky, wop, nor kike, but man, permitted to be man. That's Robert Hayden's poem, In the Morning Time. This is a poem by Dudley Randall, the editor of this book, called The Melting Pot. There is a magic melting pot where any girl or man can step in, Czech or Greek or Scot, step out American. Johann and Jan and Jean and Juan, Giovanni and Ivan step in and then step out again, all freshly christened John. Sam, watching, said, "Why, I was here even before they came and stepped in too, but was tossed out before he passed the brim. And every time Sam tried that pot, they threw him out again. Keep out, this is our private pot. We don't want your black stain." At last, thrown out 1,000 times, Sam said, "I don't give a damn. Shove your old pot. You can like it or not. But I'll be just what I am." That's Dudley Randall's poem, The Melting Pot. This is a poem by Ray Durham. It's called, I Know I'm Not Sufficiently Obscure. I know I'm not sufficiently obscure to please the critics, nor devious enough. Imagery escapes me. I cannot find those mild and gracious words to clothe the carnage. Blood is blood and murder's murder. What's a lavender word for lynch? Come, you pale poets, wan, refined, and dreamy. Here is a black woman working out her guts in a white man's kitchen for little money and no glory. How should I tell that story? There is a black boy, blacker still from death, face down in the cold Korean mud. Come on with your effervescent jive. Explain to him why he ain't alive. Reword our specific discontent into some plaintive melody, a little whine, a little whimper, not too much, and no rebellion. God, no, rebellion's much too corny. You deal with finer feelings, very subtle, an autumn leaf hanging from a tree. I see a body. It's Ray Durham's poem, I Know I'm Not Sufficiently Obscure. These are 3 short poems by Mari Evans. The first one is called Spectrum. Petulance is purple, happiness pink, ennui, chartreuse, and love, I think, is blue, like midnight sometimes, or a robin's egg sometimes. This one's called Where Have You Gone? Where have you gone with your confident walk, with your crooked smile? Why did you leave me when you took your laughter and departed? Are you aware that with you went the sun, all light, and what few stars there were? Where have you gone with your confident walk, your crooked smile, the rent money in one pocket, and my heart in another? This is called Marrow of My Bone. Fondle me, caress, and cradle me with your lips. Withdraw the nectar from me. Teach me there is someone. Those are poems from Mari Evans. This is a poem by Lucille Clifton. It's called Love Rejected. Love rejected hurts so much more than love rejecting. They act like they don't love their country. No, what it is they found out their country don't love them. This is a poem called Admonitions by Lucille Clifton. Boys, I don't promise you nothing but this. What you pawn, I will redeem. What you steal, I will conceal. My private silence to your public guilt is all I got. Girls, the first time a white man opens his fly like a good thing, we'll just laugh. Laugh real loud, my black women. Children, when they ask you, why is your mama so funny, say, she is a poet. She don't have no sense. That's Admonitions by Lucille Clifton. This is Lucille Clifton's poem, If I Stand in My Window. If I stand in my window naked in my own house and press my breasts against my window pane like black birds pushing against glass because I am somebody in a new thing. And if the man come to stop me in my own house naked in my own window saying I have offended him, I have offended his God. Let him watch my black body push against my own glass. Let him discover self. Let him run naked through the streets, crying, praying in tongues. It's Lucille Clifton's poem, If I Stand in My Window. This is a poem by Everett Hoagland called My Spring Thing. Yes, it's time to do my spring thing. Hanging around the sweet and the green, flowing up warm sap, rising, days of being fresh as April and common as grass. Yes, it's spring to do my time, slow as the bulbs burst from the scrotal earth, while the gay and golden sun sighs over the bright dick daffodils' stiff erections. Yes, it's my thing to time my spring by the frequency of small patches of black grass in the splendor of thighs, without words, worth. That's Everett Hoagland's poem, My Spring Thing. This poem is by a poet, goes by the name of Stephanie. It's called In the Silence. In the silence of the city night, when the lonely watch the sky in yearning, I at rest beside you lie in peace. I searched 1,000 skies before you came, and in the morning when the world is new, the lonely turn away as I turn to you beside me. And in the quiet of the afternoon when the lonely roam, I turn inside and you are with me still. I roamed 1,000 miles before you came. This is another poem by Stephanie called Who is Not a Stranger Still? Who is not a stranger still, even after making love, or the morning after? The interlude of sleep again divides. It is clear again where one body ends and the next begins. Think at each encounter, we will be strangers still, even after making love and long conversation, even after meals and showers together and years of touching. It is not often that the core of what I am is lost in longing, and is less often filled. I understand my clinging to the thought of you. Who is Not a Stranger Still by Stephanie. This poem by Stephanie is called My Love When This Is Past. My love, when this is past and you have turned away, or I, and we are no longer as we are today, I will be more having known your love. I will be more and not alone. This poem is called Let Me Be Held When the Longing Comes. Let me be held when the longing comes by you, yours the arms, yours the tender breath, tumble down into the quiet dark of this embrace. Night is come again. Stay a little longer for no other reason than it is good not to be alone always. Let there be a song of remembering and not knowing what is there except a warmth and a blossom of a feeling, sweetly, gladly, home. This poem is called That We Head Towards. That we head towards our separate end and know it only by the name of death, but makes this life with you more dear, and having known this joy and you so tender, without a fear I face this life so beautiful, and in the end will with pain surrender the sight, the touch, or memory of you. Those are poems by the poet Stephanie. Well, that's it for this edition of Graffiti. Thanks for joining us. We've been reading from a work called The Black Poets, edited by Dudley Randall in honor of Black History Month, February. Hope you've enjoyed it. I know I have. My name's Tom Blomain. See ya.
This chair. Are we fake talking? Okay, I'm gonna put that in.